kinetic fire manipulation kind of powers, pyrokinesis, different versions of pyro or kinetic kinesis in a way, so to speak. So almost everyone has some type of variation of like Human Torch, Gambit, Psylocke kind of powers, but really I would say or lean more towards like Gambit, Psylocke, in the way in which that like the kind of turn in cheek or catch 22 or unique kind of nuance of the powers is not like the surface people are using fire. It's like as you watch the show, it's more Gambit kind of nuanced where people are kind of using kinetic energy in one facet or another to create combustions or, different outputs of energy that could take the form of fire or other elements in one capacity or another. Um, so there's that. But the show revolves around, again, these characters having to fight fires like firefighters with kind of fire. So they're firefighters that fight fire with fire. For the most part, at least that's what one is led to believe most of the show, because I rarely saw fire hoses. But I did see certain scenes where hoses were used, so I think it's rhetorically implied that they are using hoses after their initial fights, but are somehow fighting fire with fire, and I guess in the way that, in or analogous to a forest fire that can be canceled out with another adjacent fire. That's what's kind of the rhetorical basis of what's happening in this show, or at least why that would make sense. In terms of the firefighter or the fire force, firefighters being able to fight fire with more fire. The problem is the plot is contrived and understanding and somewhat baseless, as the main villains can be determined as people who are essentially spontaneously turned into fire elementals, and the fire forces, which are 8 respective factions, are trying to find out why that happens, while simultaneously finding out the source to why people spontaneously become fire elementals. The show calls the fire elementals infernals, which I think is dumb, but essentially the villains, that's not what I think personally, but essentially the villains are fire